Okay, we're going to learn tonight the dinim of Tisha B'Av. This year is a little special because it's different because it's Sunday. We're going straight from Shabbos into Tisha B'Av. So there's a lot of dinim about Shabbos and Tisha B'Av and after Tisha B'Av and so on. Okay, so this year, the dinim of the 9 days we learned already. This year, Erev Tisha B'Av is Shabbos. Now normally the dinim Erev Tisha B'Av in the afternoon, so certain things of Tisha B'Av, so to speak, begin already. Certain things that you're allowed to learn, what you're not allowed to learn. So this year is Shabbos, but nevertheless, let's start from the beginning of Shabbos. Number one, before Shabbos, even though there's a minhag brought down in Shulchan Aruch and Arizal, that you're supposed to taste each dish of Shabbos you're supposed to taste to bring Shabbos in early. But this week, obviously, you can't taste any fleishiks before Shabbos because you're not allowed to eat meat in the 9 days. Even the woman who's cooking on Shabbos, on Friday, if you want to taste the food, you can't taste it and swallow it because then again, you're eating meat in the 9 days. So you're allowed to taste the food if you spit it out, meaning you never swallowed it, so that's not called eating. Now, many people have a minhag. We mentioned this in the past. Even in the time of the Alter Rebbe, today it's not done. But even in the time of the Alter Rebbe, if you take Shulchan Aruch as is, this Shabbos Chazain, as it's called, because of the Haftarah, you're not supposed to wear Bigdei Shabbos. People would wear the old weekday clothing even on Shabbos. It was a minhag in many places, and they still do it in the non-Chassidic places, that l'chadaidi, Friday night, you sing to the niggin Eli Tzion that you sing at the end of Eicha, at the end of Kinnis in the morning. In addition to that, many people read the pasuk of Eicha in right after Sheni or whatever, with the niggin of Eicha Tra. Some people do the Haftarah Shabbos Chazain with the niggin of Eicha. These are a lot of different customs brought down, by the way, in Halacha. In the Hasidic world, and the Alter Rebbe writes clearly that on this Shabbos, you don't do anything different than any other Shabbos. And in the contrary, you're supposed to show more simcha on this Shabbos that you shouldn't think that it has to do anything with Tisha B'Av. So in our circles, we do a regular Chodeidi, regular Haftarah, everything the same what we do every Shabbos. But there was an interesting custom brought down in Halacha that Sheni of this parsha of Devarim begins with the word Eicha Esa Levadi. Begins with the word Eicha. So many places there was a minhag that they would stop the pasuk before Sheni not to begin an aliyah with Eicha. Not to begin an aliyah with the word Eicha. And by the way, just for the record, that was done in 770 for many, many, many years. One time, and Rabbi Shalanda was there, who was the son, he was the chief rabbi of Bnei Brak, and he was the son of Rabbi Yaakov Landau, who was the Rav by the Rebbe Rashab. In the Rebbe Rashab's house, he was the Rav. And he once came to 770, and the Balkari did that. He went to him afterwards. He said, "What are you, crazy? We don't do that. We don't stop a pasuk before Sheni. We stop regular, like every single Shabbos, and that's what the Rebbe Rashab did. And that's what. So since then, the Balkari in 770 also changed. The bottom line is our minhag is that you do regularly until Sheni, and then you start Sheni with the word Eicha. No, way before the Rebbe. Even in that time of the Rebbe. The Rebbe B'chlau, the Rebbe Rashab said that, the Friedrich Rebbe said that many times. They didn't mix in to the running of the shul. Whatever the shul did, they did. The Rebbe didn't mix in to do it this way or that way. The Rebbe said, the Rebbe he said clearly, didn't mix in. Okay, so that's the dinim of the Friday night. The night of Tisha B'Av, Friday night in Shabbos is a regular Shabbos. You drink wine and you eat meat, and so on and so forth. Tisha B'Av, Erev Tisha B'Av in the afternoon, there's a big argument in Halacha. Do you learn because of Shabbos? Now normally Erev Tisha B'Av in the afternoon, meaning 1 o'clock, if it wouldn't be Shabbos, 1 o'clock Erev Tisha B'Av, you only start learning things that you're allowed to learn on Tisha B'Av. Okay, things pertaining to the Churban and things like that. Many poskim hold that on Shabbos, it doesn't apply, you can learn regular Torah whole day. There's a very interesting argument in Halacha. Do you say Pirkei Avos this coming Shabbos or not? And many, many years ago, I remember all the events of what happened. The Rebbe at the Fabrengen said that there's different customs. Some people say Pirkei Avos, even Shabbos Tisha B'Av, or especially Erev Tisha B'Av, and some places don't. And the Rebbe at that time said that from the Alter Rebbe seems that Shabbos Erev Tisha B'Av and Shabbos Tisha B'Av that's pushed off, you do say Pirkei Avos. Why? Because if you look at the top of Pirkei Avos, the Alter Rebbe says, "V'yesh nayin la'amri kol Shabbos hakayitz." All the Shabbosim of Kayitz. Now, a lot of times, Tisha B'Av or Shabbos or Sunday, that happens often. So the Alter Rebbe doesn't write Chutz mi Tisha B'Av. So he says, and the Alter Rebbe is mash. So one year, the Rebbe would explain Pirkei Avos as if Pirkei Avos was said the Shabbos of Tisha B'Av. The next year, the same thing happened, and the Rebbe said it's a big argument halacha. Therefore, I'm not telling you what the minig is. I'm going to go into my room and say Pirkei Avos like this. The Rebbe used to say Pirkei Avos after Mincha in the show. The Rebbe said, I'm going to my room. I'm going to do what I want, and you guys do what you want, basically. But Lepel, the Rebbe changed it afterwards, and unofficially he changed it. And Lepel, the official minig in Chabad is we do not say Pirkei Avos this week. That means this past Shabbos was Perek Beis. This Shabbos would be Perek Gimel. But Lepel, we don't say Pirkei Avos after Mincha this week. Instead, we say the following Shabbos we do Perek Gimel. So, in other words, this Shabbos Lepel, and even the Luch Kel Chabad, they bring down the minig is only to learn those things. This Erev Shabbos, Erev Tisha B'Av in the afternoon, to learn only things that pertain to Tisha B'Av. But Tillim, you could say a whole day. And therefore, like this, people that want to learn Rambam, Chitas, or whatever it is, should make sure to do it Shabbos afternoon before 1 o'clock. If you learn Rambam, you should do it Shabbos before 1 o'clock. And same thing with Chitas or whatever person learns. Okay, now, Motzei Shabbos. Okay, Motzei Shabbos. Oh, so normally, in a regular year, Suda Mafsekes, you sit down on the floor, you don't even sit three people together, you sit down on the floor, you have a bagel with a hard-boiled egg, and you dip them into ashes, and you sit on the floor, and you're not allowed to have two cooked foods by Suda Mafsekes, whatever. This year, because it's Shabbos, all these dinim don't apply. You're allowed to eat on Shabbos, this Shabbos, up to sundown, to give or take 8 o'clock, so it's a little bit after 8. You're allowed to eat meat. The Gemara's Halacha's expression is afilu sudas shleima b'shaita. Even like the meal of Shlomo HaMelech in his time, meaning you can eat as much as you want. And that's the halacha taka, that you eat this Shabbos, you eat meat, wine, a whole day until Shkia.
What time the fast starts?
At Shkia, I don't know, whatever Shkia is, what? About 8 o'clock, 8:03 maybe, what?
So you have to make another sunnah though? Sunnah of seconds?
There's no sunnah of seconds. You
Not
eat.
sunnah of seconds, but you make it sunnah.
It's just a practical thing because you're fasting. You want to.
You don't have to like wash. You don't have to...
No. Well, yeah. Again, but that's not. You don't have to wash by Sudam of seconds this year. There isn't any really halachic Sudam of seconds because it's Shabbos. Now, in a practical way, like you announced already by Shalosh Shudas last week. So basically, what most shuls do, by the way, because otherwise it's a big hassle. So, like we're going to daven mincha here, like 1:35. After the Kiddush, whatever, or for break, maybe whatever, until 1:35. 1:35 we'll daven mincha, and then everybody goes home. Now you have to stop eating at sundown, which is probably going to be like, again, 8:02 maybe by then or whatever. So you have to stop eating at sundown. you don't change your Shabbos clothing yet because it's still Shabbos. You don't change your Shabbos clothing. Now, what's practical done in most shuls today is that when Seisek Chavim come, let's say Shabbos is over. One second. Candlelighting this week is 7:46. So at 8:46, what?
No, it's getting smaller.
3 minutes. No, 4 minutes from the longest. Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyway, at 8:46, you say Baruch HaMavdil Ben Kodesh L'Chol. Then you put on your sneakers. You don't have to change your Big Day Shabbos. You're still, it says in Halachos, you're allowed to continue wearing Big Day Shabbos because it's still continuation of Shabbos. Because Tisha B'Av, you're not allowed to wear Shabbos clothing. But you're allowed to wear, so then you say Baruch HaMavdil Ben Kodesh L'Chol, and then you could drive to shul, whatever. Because so once you say Baruch HaMavdil Ben Kodesh L'Chol, then you change your shoes. That's why it's so much easier this way than coming to shul for Mincha and going, you know, it's crazy. What? That night, Tisha, Saturday night, you have to sit on the floor or on a low stool. A person that has medical issues, like terrible backs, or a pregnant woman, or things like that, that it's very hard for them to sit. Or very old people, like means very old is 100 plus. Everybody's young. So then you're allowed to sit on a regular chair because it's health. It's not comfort so much. Okay, so then you come to shul. You remove the pareiches. By the way, Shabbos Mincha, there's no tzidkoscha because Tisha B'Av is a Yom Tiv, so there's no tachlin on Tisha B'Av, which is interesting. There's no tachlin on Tisha B'Av, but so therefore you don't see tzidkoscha at Mincha. You take off this, and then now you daven Ma'ariv. Okay, whatever, the Chazan will figure out what to do. And then after Ma'ariv is an interesting thing this year, because it's Saturday night. And you don't make Havdalah until Sunday night, you have to make a Beirei Meirei Ha'esh. Because why do we make a Bracha Beirei Meirei? We learned already. Because fire was created Saturday night, and fire is vital in food and warmth and everything. So we make every Saturday night Beirei Meirei. But you normally make it during Havdalah. But you're not making Havdalah Saturday night because you can't eat Saturday night. So you make Havdalah Sunday night before you break your fast. Sunday night before you break your fast, you have to make Havdalah. And we'll get soon, I don't know, today, whatever. If somebody is not fasting on Tisha B'Av, so if it's kids, they can eat before Havdalah. Adults that have to eat, break their fast on Tisha B'Av this year, before they break their fast, they have to make Havdalah. Because you're not allowed to eat before Havdalah. No, you make Havdalah, no psamim, no eish, you do Saturday night. That's it. Even when you make Havdalah Sunday night this year, no psamim, no candle. We say Saturday night and Ma'ariv. That's no. Those that have to make Havdalah because they're breaking their fast use either wine, grape juice, beer. No, I'm just, some people say it doesn't make sense, and most poskim say you can't do that. No, you can't drink. So you say Atoch and Antonu. No, there's Vato Kodesh after Kinnis. What? If you're not fasting at all and you're going to be eating even Saturday night, let's say, yeah, then you make Havdalah Saturday night. Yeah. Or beer, or coffee or tea that's not iced coffee, iced tea. That's pretty warm, but you could drink, a shear at one time. And then that's it. No psalm. Okay, so now we jumped the gun a little bit. So what do you do Saturday night in shul? After Ma'ariv, before you read Eicha, you light up a Havdalah candle in shul, the family goes around, and everybody makes the bracha beirei eish. Saturday night, before Eicha.
Why not Psalm?
What?
Why not the Psalm?
Because Psalm is supposed to make you feel good, and Tisha B'Av, you're not supposed to be feeling too good.
But Tisha B'Av, even during the day, people Psalm.
Yeah, but that's not the summum is designated especially to make you feel good.
That's for someone to wake you up. Yeah.
No, it depends which one. You're talking about the strong stuff. In America, they don't have it anymore. They used to. They got Israel. They still have it.
Shusterman always showed me that.
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, the old lady usually did. Okay. Huh? The no v'yitin l'cha, and Sunday night you also don't say v'yitin l'cha because you don't say v'yitin l'cha only Saturday night. So the bottom line is, Sunday night before you break your fast, you have to make havdalah. Or women that for whatever reason are not fasting, let's say they just gave birth before Tisha B'Av or whatever, so then women have to make havdalah before they eat. There's an interesting din, now Rabbi Shchunar brings it down, and that is, even though kids are obligated in chinuch, so kids have to hear havdalah, but the Alter Rebbe says, kids under bar and bas mitzvah are allowed to eat and drink before havdalah. And your regular Saturday night, b'chlal. Before kiddush and before havdalah, kids under bar and bas mitzvah are allowed to eat and drink because that aspect of chinuch, of time levels, are not, were not the obligation of chinuch.